Hi, and welcome to video number 10, which is email and autoresponders. We're going to cover one WordPress plugin that deals with WordPress autoresponders and newsletters. Now, the purpose of this video is to show you how to set up your autoresponders and newsletters so that you can build your list and so that you can email your list by using WordPress. Some of you might want to build your list, which definitely is important in an important section of your online business. What I want you to do now is go to Google and type in WP Autoresponder and Newsletter WordPress plugin. Or you can just type in WP Autoresponder and Newsletter plugin, go to it, and as you can see here, you can create email newsletters, follow-up autoresponders, and provide subscriptions to blogs via email. You can create unlimited number of newsletter lists, follow-up email responses, and much more. So what I want you to do is go ahead and download this version, unzip the file, upload the files, and then activate it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause it, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. So I went ahead and uploaded the files and activated the plugin. Now that I've activated it, it says you must set your address in the newsletter settings. It is mandatory requirement for the Can-Spam Act in the USA. So we'll go ahead and do that by clicking that. Now, of course, when it says address, what it means is like your actual physical address. So, 12345 Rubber Road, New York, whatever numbers you want. Whatever numbers is that road. So you definitely want to put that up first. Then you can edit the settings by going to settings, and as we can see here, we're editing the newsletter settings. So it says notifications. WP Responder may send notifications of problems that it might be facing. Okay, so I definitely want that. Now it says send the administrative account address at LearnRub at that. So if you want to change it to your email address, you can do that here. It says enable instructional emails after activation. So we'll just leave all of this by default. Email limit. Let's say that you want a maximum number of emails that can be sent by the WordPress responder per hour. Now, in this case, I don't want to have a limit, because if you have a list of, let's say, 1,000 people, and you're emailing that list of 1,000 people about a new product that you just came out with, then guess what? All of the 1,000 people are not going to get it within that hour. So I definitely want to put it as 0. Optional SMTP settings. If instead of using your @server's mail server, you can use SMTP. Now, I'm not going to use SMTP. I'm just going to click on Save Settings. Now, after you have done that, you can move on to the next step. The next step is on how to actually use this newsletter system. Now, as you can see on the left-hand side, right below settings, we have a bunch of programs. The program that we're using is the newsletters program. And as you can see here, you have access to the dashboard. You can create a new broadcast, all broadcasts, newsletters, autoresponders, custom fields, which is like, for example, custom fields would be something like if you want to gather information about the user besides first name, last name, email. Maybe you could gather some other information like feedback and things like that. Subscribers, subscription forums, actions, settings. You can import a list if you want to, and you can export that data if you want to, and so forth. Now I'm going to go to the dashboard so that you can see for yourself. It says newsletter name, confirm subscribers, and blah, blah, blah. Now you're not going to see any of this until you actually begin to build your list. This is just statistical data that you can use. And you can report a bug, but we're not doing any of that. What I want to do is I want to show you how to import your list. Because that's probably one of the first questions that you'll probably have is how do you import your list? Now, if you don't have a list, that's fine. You can ignore this. But this is for people who have a list and you just want to import subscribers or your list into this list. It says import a subscriber to your list. You need to create a newsletter first. So create a newsletter before importing subscribers. Okay, great. So what I like about this plugin is it tells you what you need to do beforehand. So what we need to do is click on newsletters and create a newsletter. So as it's loading, I'm going to go ahead and click create newsletter. And then you'll want to name the newsletter. And it gives you a list of what you need to have. You need to have the name, you need to have from name, and whenever subscribers receive your email, they're going to see it from the name and the email. Reply to in case you want people to reply to, and a public description. This will just help you when you have several lists. And let's say, for example, you outsource this emailing to somebody, they can find the newsletter fairly quickly. Now you can't really see the boxes, but if I move this over and I extend the window, you'll be able to see it. So you can see here, here, and here. So the full name, we'll just call it Rubber Newsletter Tips. And then the from name is your name, whatever your name is, and then your email address, email at laurenrubberstamping.com, and then the reply to email. In this case, I don't have a reply to email, so I'm going to go ahead and click create newsletter. Alright, so it's complaining and it wants me to fill out a reply to email. So what I'm going to do is just copy the email from the previous, the from email address over to that same email. Click create newsletters, and that should work. Okay, so now that you have a newsletter, you can actually start creating or importing your subscribers. Now, at this given time, you can import subscribers. You can, if you don't want to import subscribers, you can go ahead and create a subscription form or create an autoresponder. Now, the difference between an autoresponder and a newsletter is the following. A newsletter is basically every time you'll be sending like a weekly newsletter out. And when somebody subscribes, they're only going to get the emails that you actually email out. Now, an autoresponder is, let's say you set it up, and anytime somebody subscribes to the autoresponder, for the next 7 days, they receive an email from you. Now, this is all automated. That's why it's called an autoresponder, because it's automated. So just keep in mind, there's two different things. There's an autoresponder and there's a newsletter. Autoresponders are automatic. So if you were to email out a time-limited special offer, you would probably not email the autoresponder. You would probably email the newsletter. So as you can see, there is a difference. Now, if you want to export subscribers, you can do that simply by clicking download. But in this case, you want to import subscribers, so you want to select the newsletter. We only have one, so it's going to be simple. And what you'll want to do is upload a S or CSV file, which is a file that contains the names, the email addresses, and so forth. And as you saw, you had two options. You could either import subscribers for your blog subscription or your newsletter. And I wanted to show you both so that you could see the two different options. But in this case, since I created a newsletter, I want to upload a CSV file for the newsletter itself. Now, I'm not going to show you, what format and how to upload it, but it's pretty self-explanatory on how to upload it. But remember, in order to import subscribers, you need to create a newsletter first. And if I go to the autoresponder section, as you can see here, you can create an autoresponder. You can create subscription forms and so forth. So really, this WordPress plugin is very, very easy to use. And can be well worth it if you're trying to build your list.